merp. It's PesterQuest time. I think it's Gamzee's route now. We're starting with, because we finished Kanaya last time. Yeah. So Gamzee, and then oh no. Oh no. We're doing vriska today, probably. I don't know. We're gonna see if we can do 3. I'm not super enthusiastic to do equius, just because I don't really like equius. Well, okay. I don't like canon equius. I love, like, certain fanon equius, you know, in certain contexts. Hi, Green Spring. Hope you're doing well. But I guess let's just fucking jump right in. Let's get Gamzee time. Aw, I'm gonna have to read. Oh, wait. Oh, we're right here. Okay. Oh my goodness. There was no introduction. We're just jumping right in. First things first, you deliver Karkat into the arms of a giant white crab, which strikes you as totally normal and a safe thing to do. You're really beginning to get it. Wait, this feels this feels very abrupt. Hold on. Just to make sure. Main menu. I just want to make sure that it went to the right place. Start. Okay, we did Kanai, we did Karkat. Okay, yeah, okay. This is the start of the route. Okay, first things first, you deliver Karkat into the arms of a giant white crab, which strikes you as totally normal and a safe thing to do. You're really beginning to get a hang of this zap situation. For instance, you are now capable of utilizing it without unleashing a lengthy exposition on the values of interpersonal relationships. You can just go, oh, okay, it's built into the plot. Lucky, too, since when you drop Karkat off at his place, he does not look in the mood for philosophy. More for crawling into bed and sleeping for a week. You don't blame him. Dave and John are nice kids, but they do require a high level of buy-in to talk to. Since you have a memory like a steel friendship trap, you recall that there's another possible bro in this area. What did Karkat call that kid he lost his shit at the thought of meeting? Macaroni? Hi, Lipty. Hi, Adrith. It is time for more PesterQuest. You zap to Macaroni's home. Macaroni. Makara, come on, reader. This time you aim for the yard and not the broom closet. You find yourself outside a huge sandstone castle at the edge of a dark, sprawling ocean. You'd have said it was abandoned if it wasn't for the lights in the window. Oh my god, lad. Oh my god, hi, Gamzee. Oh my goodness. Oh, the music. Let me know if it's too loud. I think it should be fine, but just in case. Oh, what a guy! Look at him! Oh, my cursor isn't on screen. Oh, damn, now it is. Okay. Standing at the tide line is some sort of Halloween decoration. A scarecrow made entirely of sticks and hair and a pair of oversized gray pants. Wait, they probably don't have Halloween here. It's already spooky enough every day. A nocturnal world can't even fuck with the night holidays. Hi, Willow. The scarecrow throws a rock into the surf. Winding up his long, thin arm is a whole production, although his motion is surprisingly fluid. You edge closer, not wanting to alarm him, but aim to move the plot along at a reasonable clip. You clear your throat. The boy scarecrow does the laziest double take you've ever seen. It's like he's on a half speed. Motherfucker, are you lost? That's a little forward. Not that you aren't hip to all the choicest trends that the kids are on. You have absolutely no problem with some random teen just swearing at you out of the blue. That's absolutely fine. In fact, you love it. Makara, that's what his name was. You ever look at the ocean? Look at the fucking face! You know, really get your eye stalks going on it. Well, yeah, you're doing that right now, actually, since the ocean is right in front of you, and it's very hard not to see it, at least out of the corner of your eye. Oh, dang. Felt for sure you were someone's little lost lucis on account of you being white all over. Not my old goat for sure. That old bastard's never shown his ugly skull to share a pie. The tide creeps on up the beach, and you take an automatic step back. The water looks normal and the car is up to the shins in the surf, but you still don't trust it like that. You can teleport, but that doesn't mean that you want your toes burned off by alien saltwater or whatever the fuck. What about you, stranger? You ever get down hot, warm-plated gooey mess? Pie, motherfucker. I got one in the oven. Oh, how silly of you. You love pie. You love it so much more than any of the weird shit you thought he was talking about. He grins and, oh god, horror opens up in a pit in your stomach as the skin cracks before you realize that it's makeup. He's got face paint on. You guess it's some kind of clown thing he's got going on? It tracks. The big pants, the crazy hair, etc. That's actually kind of fucking weird, but really not as weird as it should be. Like, everything since you began this rollicking friendship romp. This new information feels like remembering rather than learning. But right now, all you care about learning or remembering is that sweet pie the kid mentioned. Hell yeah. You got your pan all where it's supposed to be, in your sack. Gamzee. Come again? Gamzee. Bless you. My name, motherfucker. You see his eyes for a second? For a second, the kid's vacant stare sharpens. His gray eyes are like looking down a long, empty corridor, but just for the briefest moment you think you see something lurking at the end of it. Something angry, and then it's gone. Gamzee brings you inside his hive, which is lopsided and shakes when the wind blows. Whoever designed it definitely got their architecture degree online. It also smells a lot like weed. Do they have, oops, didn't even do that. Do they have fucking troll weed? They do, Gamzee probably. I mean, the soper pies are probably, I mean, they're drugs. I don't know if it'd be the same as weed, because you're not smoking it. You're just eating it. You take a step into the living room. Honk! Oh, Jesus Christ. There are like 40 little honk horns strewn around the floor in a pattern that makes absolutely inevitable that you will step on most of them on your way to the couch. You give up after a few seconds of careful hopping and just honk your way across the room. It's a goose party up in here. Oh yeah, brother, make that music. Sometimes it all just gets too much to contain, you know what I'm saying? Gamzee sticks his head around the door to what you assume must be a kitchen. He's got flour on his nose. You thought he said the pie was already in the oven. What's he using flour for? Is that fucking cocaine? What's he doing with his nose? The music builds up, don't it? It's like a miracle. Like a little ball of snot what's all caught up in your suck sphincters. Suck sphincters. You actually have no idea what he's talking about, and you're pretty sure that's not your fault. A bunch of clattering and banging interrupts your thoughts. Dear God, what is he doing in there? And how hard is he baking? Then you realize it isn't coming from the kitchen door. It's coming from a different door. A closet door. What even is that? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, it's you and Carcat. You must have time-traveled without meaning to when you zapped here. Damn it, you thought you were getting the hang of this. But how do you respond to this absolutely unforeseen turn of events? Open the door, let Gamzee open the door. Sure, let Gamzee open the door, why not? Figuring this is the best way to prevent a paradox, you wait until the racket gets loud enough to alert your host. What's all that? You shrug and open your eyes real wide to show how innocent you are. This is a total mystery that absolutely needs solving. Oh, hey, hold up, my brother. I'm hearing something in the scrub, chubby. Some squeak beast what's all got itself trapped. The noise in the closet breaks off just as Gamzee throws the door open. Yep, same place as before. Other you and Carcat must be shouting at each other back in his hive. Well, he'll be doing most of the shouting. It really is a mess in there. Shit. Damn, little monsters skittered off. Yeah, weird. You have no idea where they went, and you're totally sure it was not a friend of his who flipped out of the sheer sound of his voice. That wouldn't be ridiculous. Aw, no doubt. You're glad you agreed about that. Oh, and speaking of which, you mentioned that you have a friend in common. Carcat. Small, shouty. Gamzee's face cracks into a wide grin. You're surprised his face doesn't turn inside out. Yeah, that there's my best fucking friend. As close as two wrigglers, what slithered out of the mother grub's frumpy ass together. We get our rap on. Rap? Like actual rap? Carcat doesn't really strike you as the rapping type. Not so much as you'd notice, but I know he's got that music inside him somewhere. All wrapped up under his skin, just waiting for a real motherfucking brother to rip it out. Aw, that's incredibly romantic, but also absolutely the creepiest thing you've ever heard. Aw, hell yes. An ungodly amount of steam issues from the kitchen, like someone's baking in a cartoon. Whatever it is smells amazing, sugary and with a hint of sharpness to it. Did Gamzee say what kind of pie he's making? Miracle pie, sister. Miracle pie. Oh, nice. Miracle flavor. Sounds great, and not at all like it might burn the roof off your mouth. Gamzee emerges from the look at his face! Here's my drugs. You want drug? Your drug. Gamzee emerged from the kitchen. The sweet smell getting stronger as he comes closer. He isn't carrying any plates or forks or whatever, so you guess you're just going to eat it with your hands? You look down at your grubby little paws. When was the last time you washed these silly things? You are disgusting. But then you get a good look at the pie and realize that the germs are really going to be the last thing of your worries. It's thick and gelatinous and green. Neon green. Poison control green. Like clip art of something toxic. You're absolutely sure that whatever that pie is made of, humans are not meant to eat it. Probably not trolls either. Gamzee sits down next to you, stretching out his long, skinny legs onto the coffee table, knocking over a stack of comics and a couple empty Faygo bottles. Yikes. This does not make you feel any better about his ability to make good nutritional choices. Hey, there's the rage symbol on that. Oh, you're right! Yeah, you can see it. Oh, wait, that's a neat detail. You ask Gamzee as politely as you are able what kind of pie it is. Oh dang, brother. A Nutrimercenary? A Nutrimercenary never gives away his secret ingredient. All you need to know is this. The good shit. You want to see miracles the way I see them? You know what to do. Or I know what to do. I can hear it in your voice. I can see it in your sea stalks. This is all the shit that's gonna put you all the way over the top. Gamzee gives you that one look. You know the one. When your friend tells you that they got some deliriously dank shit that they're just aching to share with you. That's the real thing that happens. It is absolutely drugs. This is a drug pie. Eat the drug pie. Dare to resist drugs and alcohol. We're gonna eat the drug pie. You know what? Fuck it. You're magic. You can do whatever you want. You scoop out a big green glowing glob of poison pie. It's so gooey and thick it almost slides right out of your hand. You manage to get a little bit of it into your mouth. It punches you right in the taste bud. It's so sweet your teeth ache. And without any discernible texture, you just goop that slowly fills your mouth and coats your throat. Wow, this is sort of a tactile experience. It doesn't taste bad. Just sort of like you swallowed a big sweet mouthful of. Nausea hits you in a wave and every nerve ratchets tight. Yep, this is definitely not meant for whatever kind of creature you are. Your body wants to reject it. You lean over the arm of the couch and prepare to give this volume an additional content warning. But the feeling passes. And not only does it pass, it is accompanied by a rising sweep of euphoria. It shivers from your stomach and into your brainstem. You let out an unintentional sigh of happiness and settle back down on the couch. Wow, you feel so great right now. Holy shit, drugs are awesome. You want to do them all the time. No wonder Gamzee was so intent on getting this pie finished. If you were him and you knew the secret to the wonders of the universe, you would never eat anything else, ever. A long finger taps you on the shoulder. More motherfucker. He offers you the pie plate and you eagerly dig your fingers in. It's getting all over the couch and your face, but you don't care. You just want more of that perfect, contented feeling. Gamzee watches you with dreamy approval. Somehow, you two end up in the supply closet. You aren't really sure why, it just felt like a good idea to go in there, possibly to investigate whatever it was that was making a bunch of silly noise just a few minutes ago. Oh, you know what it is. It was you and Karkat. You guys came to visit Gamzee one time, but Karkat wussed out. He'll try harder next time. Good try, motherfucker. You're not pulling my stem that easy. My nubby little brother hasn't been anywhere near my motherfucking hive. I've tried to get him over here again and again, you know. But he's got all this hate on for face-to-face hangouts. Now that you got your motherfucking pan blown right the fuck open. You're like me, my sister. You're wide open to the motherfucking miracles. You tell Gamzee that he's totally right. You are so ready and open to whatever miracles comes along. But no, seriously, if you wanted to, you two could probably go visit Karkat right now. He's probably sleeping off his trip to an alien planet, but you could wait, or just sat forward in time a little bit. That's a thing you can do. Oh, for real? Well, then why'd you say so then, motherfucker? Zap us on out of here. Sure, right away. Anything you want, best friend. Gamzee gives you another one of those wide, messy grins, like he can't contain his joy at the thought of being someone else's best friend. You totally sympathize. You can't actually remember how to use your magic powers right now. You think it's possible you're a little too high. You don't even remember how you came to be lying on this filthy closet floor, looking up at the filthy closet ceiling. Shouldn't you try to keep the place with your cleaning supplies a little, cleaner? No worries, my brother. There isn't any rush. I got my certainty on that one day we're all gonna get together in one big horn pile. My boy Carcat, T-Dog, Equius, that nasty cerulean bitch, what's always mad as hell. Everybody. We'll all climb up in the clouds together. You don't know who some of these people are, but that's okay. You're confident that they'll make amazing friends. You can't wait to climb up into the sky with them. What'll you do once you get up there? We ride the Dark Carnival all the way to paradise, my brother. The Dark Carnival. That sounds familiar somehow. You feel like you've heard it before. Oh, I should hope so, motherfucker. Anybody what's got any kind of head for religious dogma that all's heard of this shit. I knew you were a real one. Oh yeah, for sure. You're the realist, but like, imagine you weren't as real as you could be. What would you tell some dumb asshole who had no idea what Gamzee was talking about? The Dark Carnival is where the path leads to my brother. Back in the old days, the righteous got their blood poured out when the time came. All that purple painting, the ringmaster's circles. But nowadays, it's more like a metaphor and shit. When a motherfucker dies, his soul is all ruptured up from his corpse meat, right? And that soul's gotta all up and go somewhere, don't it? It's not just about to float around untethered. So it rides up on the carnival where it gets all right and properly judged to see whether it's been a good bitch or a naughty motherfucker. Anyway, that's how the miracles work. Right. God, that sounds amazing. You really hope Gamzee gets there one day. Something jagged slams up against the haze of drug contentment. You feel like a booming knock on the inside of your consciousness. You remember a face. Gamzee's face. No, not quite. It's a face without makeup, but it's younger, kinder, more vulnerable. You remember this. This is a friend. You remember you had friends. You remember a clown. With a monumental effort, you force yourself into a sitting position. Gamzee is still splayed out on the floor, totally gone. You have to figure this out. For a split second, you had it. You shake your head, trying to clear it. You stagger up. Gamzee makes a sleepy noise and rolls onto his side. You stagger back into the living room, feeling your way across the wall until you find an ablution. I always say ablution, but it's not how you're supposed to say it. Or I say, yeah, ablution trap. You locate the sink and splash some water on your face, trying to focus enough to concentrate, but not enough to lose this thread. Somehow you know that if you became too aware of yourself, you are going to completely forget everything again. It's almost like someone wants you to forget. Forget all of your friends and your past adventures. You close your eyes and drift that friendly clown face. A name drifts across your mind, almost close enough to catch. Zap. All of your other trips through the narrative have been instantaneous. 1 second, and you're in a place, and the next you're in another. This time, the air feels warm and gelatinous, like trying to run while waist deep in water. The drug pie could be fucking with your powers, but you know in the core of you that isn't right. You are where you aren't supposed to be, and something knows you're trespassing. Something here is awake, and it sees you. Oh. You go through a series of shivers, not unlike when you first tasted the pie. Some distant layer of you knows that whatever you're experiencing is wrong, not meant to be seen by anyone, as if somehow you've gotten a glimpse into the subatomic level. Your vision stretches out in a long, empty corridor, and on the other end is, what the fuck? What the... what the fuck? That was kind of freaky, what the fuck? A fucking T-posing guy on the other hand. You slingshot back to Gamzee's hive, hitting the floor with what feels like every inch of your body. God, how can you fall on your ass and head at the same time? How is that legal? Even worse, you appear to have sobered up much faster than you would have any right to. The high has broken like a fever and you are sweating through your trendy collared shirt. You turn. Gamzee has somehow moved himself to the couch while you were doing whatever it was, trying to throw yourself into part of the narrative. You don't have permissions to see. You look significantly less stoned than before, too. Where'd you go at, motherfucker? Oh, you just tried to pop a visit to someone? Someone you thought you remembered from your past, but it went wrong. Somehow, You're just getting the image of a T-posing figure, which is absolutely absurd. Damn. That's some deep nonsense right there. Some righteous fucking noise. Yeah, you guess so. Probably just the drugs, though. Gamzee looks at you through slitted, hazy eyes, and you realize that trying to explain anything to him when he's in this state isn't gonna do any good. Just a fever dream. And that's probably exactly what it was. Shit. Maybe this is what the kids refer to as a bad trip. That's what Gamzee does. Just sits in his hive all the time and gets high. Well, it's a perfectly respectable way to deal with a hell place like Alternia, but god, it makes you sad. All these kids you've met so far make you so incredibly sad. Now you went and bummed yourself out. You're exhausted. You aren't really above doing the least amount of work for the highest possible reward here. You shrug and tell him that probably what you experienced is a miracle. Gamzee's beatific smile makes it all the better. Aww. Look at us. Fucking high and vibin'. Alright, that was one route. We got 2 more to go. Alright. Let's open the door. You spring up to answer the door, because that's what any good guest would do while their host is busy fighting a pie. You honk your way over, making more music on the way, miracles or whatever. You wonder what you're going to say when you see yourself. You'll probably be pretty surprised. Up close, the door is sort of warm, not temperature-wise, more in an existential way. A narrative weight hangs around this door. When you touch it, tingling heat shoots up your fingers. Man, this door is great. You don't want anything more than to just open this door. Shit. You love this store. Just doors in general, actually. Fucking amazing. You love to open them and be in one place, and then walk through them and be in another. You twist the handle and you are forcibly returned to the start screen. Huh. I guess that would be a paradox, right? Because we didn't see that in the other route. We didn't meet ourselves. That makes sense. Interesting. That was kind of terrifying. We're getting into Gamzee's route's kind of spooky. Okay, let Gamzee open the door. Dare to resist. Okay, if we get like a cause okay, this is giving me like, okay, I apologize for this comparison. The Gamzee's sprites give me big like Kokichi vibes from Danganronpa V3, and I'm waiting for us to get like a where Gamzee's face is all black and in shadow and we just see his fucking terrifying eyes and it's gonna scare the shit out of me. I'm waiting for that to happen because that's the vibe I'm getting from his sprites. You take a deep breath and prepare to stand up to peer pressure. You tell Gamzee that you think you'll pass on the pie. Whoa, for real? Nobody's ever turned down a bite before. Really? How many people has he offered it to? Gamzee grins. Well, motherfuck, you got me there. No fear, brother, no fear. You gotta be all doing what you're feeling. No way I'm about to harsh your brother's flow when it comes to all their personal preferences or whatever. Oh, thank God, he isn't going to think you're uncool for not doing his drug pie. You can't exactly recall where you've picked up the idea that Alternian drugs are not a good idea, but you're pretty sure it's right. Maybe just a good general rule of thumb. Avoid alien-controlled substances, or possibly all alien substances. Maybe it would be bad for you even if it wasn't a drug pie. Your internal anatomy is still a mystery to you. Actually, Gamzee is taking this so well that you feel emboldened to go further. Push a little harder. Man, you really are getting brazen with all this after-school special shit. You suggest to Gamzee that, just maybe, he shouldn't eat the pie either. He raises both eyebrows and gives you a slow blink, looking from the pie to you and back again. He looks absolutely flabbergasted at the idea. Hasn't anybody ever mentioned to him that he should be careful what he eats? Not even Karkat? Karkat absolutely seems like the kind of guy that would want to micromanage his friends' lives. Might have said a thing or two. Once or maybe 2 times. Does Gamzee ever think about following his good friend's advice? Gamzee freezes with one long finger hand and reaching for the pie. You can practically see the gears turning in his head. You catch another flicker of that flat, effectless menace behind his eyes. He then splits into another big sloppy grin. Fuck it. Gamzee rises eerily to his feet like he's on marionette strings, almost without bending his knees. Picking up the pie, he shuffles across the rumpus block and opens the window. He makes and holds eye contact as he throws the pie out the window. Oh, okay, that's one way to get rid of it, but what about the pie plate? More where that came from. Anything I want, I just enter into the computer and it appears outside of the hive a couple hours later. Fucking miracles, man. Maybe it's just same-day delivery? Is there a troll Amazon? Gamzee lets out a creaky laugh. It makes you a little nervous, and you can't pinpoint why. Slow down, brother. You're talking all the deep motherfucking heresies today. Turning down a perfectly good pie, what could have got us all truly seeing the glories of what the Messiah has put on this planet. Don't take away my miracles, too. Oh no. Well, you didn't make him throw the pie out of the window, you just made a suggestion. He didn't have to listen to you. No, you got the right of it. We'll do it your way. You know, the old goat might come home for once. And he never likes it when I fly high on pie. Well, if he's sure... Okay. That's what it's... Gamzee looks at you from across the room, silhouetted against the window like a black spot on the moon. And you think you may have just made a mistake. You aren't exactly sure why, just something in the back of your head is shouting at you. Maybe you'll check just to be sure. So when Gamzee lopes back in the kitchen, maybe to throw more shit passive-aggressive out a window, he's at 4, just a little, a couple days. Oh no. Oh no. The house is quiet, but everything looks mostly the same. When you listen though, you hear a steady thump, thump, thump. If you didn't know any better, you might say it was someone banging something against a drywall, for instance, their head. The sound rattles through the stone of the hive and builds along the scaffolding of your body. With mounting dread, you zap forward a few days. The hive is a wreck. It wasn't exactly a showroom before, but now there are 3 times as many honk horns, and Faygo bottles overflow off the table. The couch bleeds stuffing from 3 long gouges. The TV is shattered, and every mirror in the house is broken. Every shiny surface slashed past recognition. It's like someone didn't want to see themselves. Gamzee? Oh god, what happened? Oh no. Oh no. You zap to Karkat's hive. He knows Gamzee. He'll be able to tell. Oh god. Red everywhere. It's on Karkat's bedroom walls, the floors, even arcing up into the ceiling. Karkat's red blood. You never gotten a chance to talk to him about it. Your stomach curls in on itself and you fall forward onto your knees, retching into the carpet. You haven't had any of the pie, so nothing comes up. Jesus fuck! Kanaya's room is in far greater disarray. She looks like she put up much more of a fight than Karkat had. There are great gouts of jade blood over the bolts of fabric and drafting table, but it's joined by deep slashes of royal purple. Kanaya's husk top glows sickly into the dim room. A smiley face with a round clown nose is painted in blood on the screen. Beneath it, an instant message flashes. Fussy fangs, what the fuck? You can't ignore me forever, Miriam. I doubt you can even do it for one night. The cursor flashes. Green and purple ooze on the keys, still wet. Oh god, he's gone after AG too. You have to do something. You appear in the tall stone room. You've never been here before. Or maybe you have. You've already made good friends with this particular troll. It really depends on which option you chose at the beginning of the volume. Oh god, why did you think that? Why isn't your brain working? What the fuck is wrong with you? You feel like you know all of this, but not. Like you watched it all happen to somebody else. From the distance you hear a telltale honk. Ice sheets up your spine. Honk. That is the most cursed noise you've ever heard in your life. Jesus fuck, you are going to have nightmares filled with brass instrumentation, provided you don't die immediately. Honk. Oh, hey there, motherfucker. You're late. Oh, hey, Gamzee. You sure look totally fucked up. Green and crimson paints his shirt, splashed up his arms to the elbows. It's like fucking Christmas in here. 3 deep purple gouges intersect his face, still bleeding freely. Shit, dude. You should have kept doing the drugs if this was the alternative. Talk about an overreaction. Overreaction? It's no fucking overreaction, little aberrant speck of war meat. This is true God's judgment. He came to me, motherfucker. He spoke his words in my ear. He's the only one who's ever bothered to say motherfucking truths to me. Who came to him? Who's speaking the truth? Don't worry, you'll meet him soon. Honk, 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 honk. Oh god. And then we died. Oh no. Well, so the drug one is the canonical one, I'm assuming. Actually, I guess it would have to be because we need that there was that plot thing that happens, so that makes sense. Wow. That was intense. One ending. Anyways, vriska time. Vriska time, baby. Your latest narrative jaunt has you walking down an Alternian shore. The twin moons light up this beach cove in shades of pink and lime green, their reflections playing at shimmering patterns in the gentle waves. It would be beautiful if not for the haggard, monstrous gulls picking the flesh from the dead, and pungently rotting fish, crabs, and even one of their own. You keep your distance as they eye you warily, gore on their chipped beaks. These are not potential friends. Everywhere you jump, serendipity seems to guide your hand. But would it be right to call you fortunate? The night is cool, almost cold. You kick a pure white seashell down the beach. It skips graciously in the dark gray sand. You've brought friends together and just barely begun to master this tremendous and strange power. But no, you think, you are not fortunate. As you walk alone down the sand that's still radiating stored up heat from the searing day, you feel a pang. Something is missing. You know you've felt this way before, but you can't place when. You have a gulf within you from the width and breadth of this ocean, an isolation so plain, so true, that it seems impassable, invincible. You step on a weird bug, and you don't even care. Yes, you are filled with a sudden, almost comforting conviction. Nothing you have done on your journey has really made a difference. If you can pick up and put down the lives of these alien weirdos and human weirdos and shake them like an Etch-a-Sketch when things go wrong, are you really accomplishing anything? Or are you just building shitty castles in the sand with flimsy plastic implements, castles that won't mean shit for nothing when the tide rises? You've decided. You are a creature of solitude. You are a rock. You are an island. From now on, you walk alone. There may be an angled figure crouched with a terrible posture on the deck ahead. Sure, that figure may be sitting next to an intriguing-looking moored ship, yes, but surely one glimpse of a potential life to meddle in won't immediately make you fall off the wagon back to a life of itinerant friendship, right? Aw, sweet, a new friend! I like how we didn't have a choice. Reader has no self-control. Hello, vriska! Oh my god. God damn it. You amble over to the girl hunched on the dock like that stupid Thembo friend, like the stupid Thembo friend slut you are. Oh, OST. Doing an acrobatic fucking pirouette off the wagon. She hasn't seen you yet, so you watch her like a creep. She's leaning over a complicated pile of papers, erasing boxes and filling them in again. Every once in a while, she pauses to roll various dice. As soon as you take one step onto the wooden deck, she looks up and jumps with a feline quickness into a standing position, looking immediately ready for a fight. Whoa, what are you? You raise your hands in a pathetic sort of I'm innocent and weak motion, which for you is basically any motion. Wait a second, you're that weirdo who's bothering Kanaya, aren't you? Yep, you say you're exactly that weirdo, and now you're here saying hello to a new stranger and maybe a new friend. Isn't that great? Great, just what I needed. More meddling. I'm the coolest. I know I'm the coolest, but I'm kind of busy right now. Big campaign tonight. Dude, you are so good at campaigns, you tell her. You are all about hope and change. You helped Al Gore hang a Chad. Tippecano and Tyler too. What even the fuck are you saying? Don't call me dude, or anything else for that matter. You mean you're down to help, maybe be her campaign manager? Ha! I'm the captain here, buddy. But as it happens, I'm currently all out of first mates. Wanna be a swabby? Oh, it's like a boat thing. Yes. So that's why there's a boat here. What are all the papers on the ground for? The campaign, dumbass. They're the character sheets for me, the greatest petticoat sea grift ever to sail the 8 seas. One of our friends was raised in a cave and she still knows what flarp is. Well, you can zap over to the cave and ask her then. Her look of indifference is immediately replaced with a tilt of the head, as though your threat to leave caught her attention. Ew, not unless you want to smell like cat piss for weeks and get high off second-hand nip. Look, it's simple. Pick a name and roll up some stats. For example, I am Marquise Spinneret Mindfang. I'm the scourge of the high seas, an undefeated champion of naval flarp. My colors on the horizon turn even high bloods into sniveling cowards. You say that sounds really cool, but aren't trolls' names 6 letters long? You mean you've only met a couple before this, but for some reason you have a strong sense of the rules here. I'm in character here. Try to keep up. You guess that explains the outfit. She seems really into this. Maybe weirdly into this. It's all a bit intense. Isn't this just a game? Flarp is more than just a game, and I'm the best there is. How about this? If you agree to make a character and sail with me, I'll tell you my real name. You look at her elaborate costume over her ship and decide, why the hell not? You've already made your friend bed, now you have to sleep in it. Not that you're going to sleep or anything, that would be patently ridiculous. Hi, Key Smash. Okay, let's walk you through this. You should be flattered what a master gamer like me is giving you the full tutorial. I had to read the books myself with no help. The stat bat is the most important. Phase out of vitals. Okay, so this is kind of D&D, but not really. Interesting. The first thing you do is roll values for each of the 10 dice rostra. Simple, right? She pops a huge bag of dice out of her Solidex and starts handing you groups of them at a time. You roll a 2d4 for dice rostrum, Throne of the Empress, and get 2 1s. You roll 66 for dice rostrum, Conductor Stand, and 6 fucking snake eyes stare up at you from the wood of the dock. Wow, you're really bad at this. Take the insult line down. You've got to hand it to her. When she's right, she's right. When she's right, so she's right. You finished rolling all 26 rolls required for this game, and you've gotten the lowest on each one. What rotten luck. I feel like that's actually insane luck. I have never seen anyone roll this low before. I didn't even know you could get a 0. It's okay, we can save this by putting the stats in the right place. She flips another page of the handbook, and that shows you the attributes of Flarp. For some reason, you can read them despite just having arrived to this planet for the first time. She flips to another page of right? So your Vim, Grit, Pulchritude, and Grace combined with your real-life vitals makes your HP. Wait, real-life vitals? Your body is weak and shitty. Is this some kind of hardcore game? The most dangerous game? If you die in the game, you die in real life? Yeah. You didn't know? This sheer combined shock of what you don't know could kill an elephant quicker than Thomas Edison trying to discredit an immigrant. You get to roll again when you level up, so you won't be pathetic forever. I mean, if you survive. But with a scourge like me at your side, you're on easy street. I'm jealous of you, really. You gulp and nod. Okay, let's finish this. The Marquise grins. Her lipstick smears a bit where her fangs jut out. You think that's just how it is for trolls wearing lipstick, but Kanaya's was perfect. She pulls an 8-ball out of her pocket and smashes it, suddenly and violently on the dock. You jump at the noise. She looks at you pitifully, and then decides not to make fun of you. Out of the wrecked plastic's sophistic sphere, a gross fucking grubby worm appears. It's like the size of a wiener dog. In its wriggling, you see that it's pulsating. Covered in the blue-tinted family recreation water once inside an 8-ball, the grub's swollen oviposture glistens. It extends to deposit a massive brood of eggs, each glowing in the center with a slowly pulsating LED light. This is so fucking gross. Yeah. You look away and dry heave a bit, leaning off the dock. So far, this game sucks ass. Jag, don't tell me you've never seen a game grub before. You tell her that you've never seen a game grub before. Also, maybe she should have given you a content warning before she makes you watch a thing that includes listening ovipositor. What? Ah, shit, yeah, that was pretty gross. Here, you bring up the pause menu and click on warnings, and you give it a read before making an informed decision. Have those been there the whole time? Vriska taps her foot impatiently while you fuck around in the game client. For some reason, seeing a full list of content warnings isn't easing your anxiety about what's ahead. It reminds you of something that once made you really angry, In fact, you're especially worried about the gore and death tags. Maybe you should just piece out of this. There's basically no harm whatsoever in you eating out of this one, and it might save you drowning for good measure. Not that flirtations with dangerous ends is exactly rare for you. Yeah, peace out. You know what? You're not feeling up for tabletop gaming today. You close your eyes and feel yourself sink into another narrative. Wait. Your loss. Okay. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Look at little Vriska. Oh, she's baby. Wait. No, reader, come back. She's baby. Oh. No, come on. She's baby. Now see, we're gonna actually do the route, and she's gonna beat the shit out of us or something. Alright, let's play fire. You know what? You're an informed reader and a prepared gamer. You've got this. You ask Vriska what's next. She points to one of the glowing, blinking eggs, which is hatching, a pixelated-looking bat. It flaps its way into the air with a high-pitched squeak and starts glowing and projecting a holographic image of a torch. Alright, all you have to do is assign your dice rostra to your attribution sconce. What? Pick your best and worst stats. Your top 2 stats determine your starting class. There's a lot of classes, but I'm already the best one. Alright, that seems simple enough. Drag attributes into the dice rostrum you want to utilize for them. This decision is permanent, so make sure you're satisfied before pressing finalize and spawning them. Oh, shit! Okay. Let's see. So, your vigor, rascality, your suaveness, grace, inventiveness. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys pick my stats. What are we prioritizing? What are we prioritizing? Then what's my dump stat? And we'll go from there, and I can fill everything in. I guess it probably doesn't matter. I kind of like imagination having like a high stat. Your top 2 stats will determine class. AP is appetite. Your hunger and enthusiasm. High app makes you more effective in combat, while low app improves your passive healing. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna have your confidence. Let's put our let's have like mid-confidence. I feel like you should never prioritize IMD and then GRT dump app and not the combat sort. Okay. Let's put app towards the bottom. We'll do passive. And then IMG. I like IMG being high. But it is what helps you lift sails to keep your cool mid. Let's put GRT leverage a foundation of the balance of powers. Finesse or suaveness. Grace, rascality. I'm gonna put Poltertide here. Oh, I like that. And then we'll do grit. Mischief can be low. I don't know what we're gonna totally dump. We'll dump... Do I? Oh, I don't have to put something. Oh, I have to. Yeah. Vigor we'll do here. And then... Grace, and then Dex. There we go. We'll do that. Your 2 highest attributes are IMG and PLC. Your starting class will be Play Knight. Aw, come on, this is a weenie class. Everybody knows Knights are only just above Skylarks in terms of raw punchability. Yes, that's a real stat. A max level Petticoat Seagrift and a level 1 Play Knight. Not exactly the meta strat. You're lucky you're paired with the #1 gamer Alternia. Before I can carry you to victory, we need just one more thing. There's more of this bullshit? What now? Is a giant sandworm going to poke its head out of the sand and puke up some fucking game mechanics that will be described in excruciating narrative detail? Quit being so dramatic. Your character needs a name. Oh, a name. You already have one of those, though, as you told Jade it already. But man, you're not feeling as comfortable with it for right now for some reason. Why is thinking of yourself as a distinct being with an identity and a history feel so uncomfortable? What's wrong with you? Might as well just make up a name for your character. Aw, shit. What are we naming this character? It would be funny... Wait, do you think if we named it Vriska that she would make a comment about it? Do you think that she'd make a comment if we named it Vriska? Should we try? I wonder if it'll matter. Thembo Friendslut is a funny name, but I just want to see... Okay, let's see Vriska. I cannot stress this enough. No fucking doubles. Oh. Okay, what if we try naming it a different troll? Can you be a little more creative? Jeez. Okay. What's something else that might make her... What if we did, like, a curse word? Do you think if we did a curse word, she would point it out? Maybe not. What's another funny thing? Wait, what if I did Mind Fang? Okay. Scratch. Do you think it would pick up Doc Scratch or just Scratch? As soon as you say it, Vriska narrows her eyes at you without warning. She pushes you off the dock into the briny alternating waters. Oh, shit. Oh, we have to go through all that again? Fuck. Oh, we could try Tavros as well. Okay, we had IMG. Actually, now I kind of want to see... Oh, so okay, so it is different. Piss Icarus? Okay, we're going with Piss Icarus. You're full of vinegar and ready to debuff enemies on the battlefield. A max level Petticoat Secret and a level 1 Piss Icarus. Not exactly the meta strat, you're lucky you're paired with the #1 gamer. Okay. Name. Alright, I'm gonna save. Okay. Okay, so she did have a particular one for Tavros. Okay, does she have a particular one for Kanaya? Okay. Terezi. Oh, Terezi gets the particular one too. What? I'm trying to think of other names. Oh, okay, she doesn't like Aradia either. No. Code. Yes. Just 8 8s? I feel like that's a bit too specific. I think that's all. I can't think of anything else. We'll just do... Wait, what if I do, like Dave Strider? What if I just do Dave? Okay. Dave... What if I do... Okay, so if you do a kid's name, it doesn't matter. Okay, well then we're gonna go with Thembo Friendslut. As suggested earlier by The Marquise welcomes you aboard her ship, Thembo Friendslut. As soon as you confirm your name, the other eggs start squelching and cracking into more little flying holographic biotech projectors of various shapes and sizes. I hope that wasn't like an important choice that like later becomes relevant. Like, we have to like, there's like a dramatic point later on where we have to like finally say our name, and it just pops up on the screen. Thembo Friendslut. Other eggs start squelching and cracking into more little flying holographic biotech projectors of various shapes and sizes. Moths and dragonflies and lightning bugs zipping off into the distance. Vriska capture logs all her various books and character sheets, pushes her eye patch glasses up the bridge of her nose, and clambers up the gangplank of her ship, which you can see as a name painted on the side, and suitably inscribed as you follow her. Brigantine? brigantine. Here, hold this. Vriska hands you a rope and you hold onto it, keeping the mainsail rolled up as she scurries to and fro, aft and bow, across the ship, making the adjustments. You watch her try to tie a double bow line, but struggle with the dexterity of her mechanical fingers, swearing in frustration under her breath. You politely look away and try to make idle conversation. You ask for her end of the bargain. What? Her name. You made a character, she tells you her name. That's the deal. She secures another rigging and stomps back over to you. You haven't really made a character until you're in costume. Is your fit not already fresh? Perhaps even the freshest? Here. She dumps an extra outfit out of her inventory, looking almost exactly like an earlier version of hers, smaller with more amateur stitching. You put on the big bridge coat and feel super badass. She looks at you, tilts her head to evaluate, and then grabs a jaunty hat, feather and all, from her Silodex and pops it on your head. Nice. Alright, my name's Vriska. Vriska's Circuit, don't you forget. Vriska's Circuit, or the Marquise, satisfied with her preparation, snatches the rope from you and lets it go, unfurling the mainsail. She practically skips to the captain's wheel, ready to steer the brigantine out of the harbor. Real name basis is one step closer to friendship, though for a moment you feel like you got told that name already. Your brain is messed up without remembering stuff that maybe didn't happen in canon. If canon is a real thing, that means that it means something anymore. Your unsettling metatextual introspection is interrupted by Vriska shouting, "Roll for initiative!" You hear a buzz of the projector bugs boarding your ship, and soon 4 flickering holograms appear on your main deck, looking like lurching zombie trolls. You've already seen dice rattling on the deck, and you look over at her to cheat and figure out what you need to roll. Alright, I'm starting with an 18. Looks like you got subtract modifier 19. Huh. Guess you go first then, both friend slut. This is it. It's LARPing time. You look down at the piece of paper with your abilities on it, ready to cast magic missile or Bugsby's grasping hand or some shit. You pick up the top attack from the list. It's your special class ability. You channel the spirit of Piss Icarus, point straight at one of the holographic zombies and yell that you're casting Pungent Hubris. You grab a d20 and blow on it in your hand. Your lady luck. No snake eyes. Other gambling terms, whatever. You let the icosahedron of tabletop destiny drop through the air, waiting for the result with bated breath. You get a 2 in this. God damn it. Vriska laughs out loud. That goes pretty about right from my experience. Check out how a real gamer does it. Then she shows you how a real gamer does it. Over the course of this and the next 4 holographic encounters, including complexity, tediousness, difficulty, and word count, she just rolls so many goddamn dice and keeps track of so many goddamn stats. You're overwhelmed, bewildered, and tired of doing math and pencil by the time the last squid-themed hollow monster dies. You were worried about the danger of this game before, but it seems like the only way you're going to die today is from fucking boredom. Then you spot it. A schooner painted all in black emerges from the fog. You shout to Vriska that there's a ship on the port horizon. Vriska looks right. Does she not know the difference between port and starboard? Huh. You point in the proper direction. She gives you a mischievous grin of hers. Now it's time for real action. We've entered the PvP enabled zone. She puts aside her character sheets and dice, drawing a blue saber. She holds it in one hand, the ship's wheel in another. That's the Rue, the ship of Dreadclaw Ophelia. Top of the naval flarp leaderboards. She's got a whole crew on that boat. But she's just another rich sea dweller with hired help. She's been too scared to face me. Vriska's pointed your ship straight at the Rue, and you've picked up speed. You can make out a troll girl with thinned ears and a gaudy purple outfit that you describe as a sexy pirate Halloween costume from the world's most bougie party city, Dreadclaw Ophelia. It's absolutely garish compared to Vriska's more normcore post-RP active wear, but dressed much more humbly than the captain are a bunch of lowbloods standing behind her, clutching shitty rusty swords and shaking. So let's bring the fight to her. You're not slowing down. You're pointed straight at the enemy hull. Vriska steers your ship directly into the well-appointed schooner, and you struggle to keep your feet at the shock of the impact, which knocks the violet blood in her frightened thralls to the deck of the Rue. She yells over the dim, horrific woodland screeching. Hey, Swabby! Want to be really good at sword fighting? You look at her with stars in your eyes. Yes, you do want to be really good at sword fighting. You nod eagerly, and she underhand tosses you her blue-hilted saber, which you catch eagerly. Vriska grins back, puts her hand to her temple, and squints with her one good eye. The 7 red dots of her prosthetic seem to smear and blur as your vision loses focus. You've managed well to this point as first mate of the brigantine, but your sea legs seem to give out on you all at once. You drop the sword you were just given and clatters to the deck. You try to tell her something's wrong, but your mouth lolls open and you drool a bit. A dull pain gains a sharp and sudden clarity. It feels as though 8 spindly legs are crawling on your head. No, in your head. Each footfall feels more like a knife cutting through butter. At some point, all sensation slips into nothing, and you follow the sword to the ground, asleep. What the fuck? Wake up, moron! You don't hear that, and you don't wake up. The salt and swell of the ocean gives way to the rustling of alien trees. No longer do you hear the scream of gulls following your ship, waiting for the corpses on board to tumble overboard. It's all peaceful. Consciousness returns to you, and its first present is the discovery that you're face down in slightly wet dirt. Some got in your mouth. You spit it out and sit up, brushing muck off your flarp costume. Wait, that's not a flarp costume. It's a hoodie with a jagged cerulean symbol, a different symbol on it, loose-fitting, as though it belonged to a friend. Half memories swim in your mind, and you take in the scene just as familiar as your clothing. A stump sitting in a clearing between the trunk of a purple-treed Alternian forest. A harpoon sticks out of it. This stump would typically fill you with unease, an aura of death and defeat, but a squirrely silhouette cuts through the darkness, and you step further into the clearing and you feel your heart lift. Sitting there on a stump, kicking bare feet back and forth, tilting her head to the side and smiling impishly at you, is your friend, old dear Lamadi. I did not meet this in Friendsim. Yeah, to clarify, I didn't finish Friendsim, partially because I was lazy and I wanted to get PesterQuest, but now I'm realizing that I probably should have, but you know what, that's okay. We totally know this person. I totally remember her. Yep, reader, we are on the exact same page. I love her, actually, and I definitely remember her. You remember her. You remember her. Psst. Fancy seeing you here. That's a joke. I'm a figment of your imagination and was expecting you the whole time. She pats the stump next to her in an inviting gesture and sits you down. You feel less adrift than you can even remember. You tell her that you missed her. Of course you did. You've gotten yourself into a real mess, dear friend. You ask about all your old friends sitting next to you. They flip through your mind clear as day, as though your memories were never locked away in the first place. How are Tagore and Gallic doing? Has she run into Ardada again? What's going on in the neighborhood? Do folks miss you? That last question collapses her wry smile into a genuine, crestfallen expression. I can't really tell you that for sure. You've seen it for yourself, just how much he can do. There's a whole other disturbance in this neighborhood, and it has his nefarious fingerprints all over it. It's almost like he was preparing for this, but I try to stay one step ahead, and I remember what I'm fighting for. Do you? The question is arresting. What are you doing? Even with your memory clouded, you've just been fumbling into other people's stories, breaking things as you go. Well, there's nothing wrong with breaking things. It's like they say, sometimes you have to compromise if you unfertilize Clucky's embryo in the name of a complete breakfast. Tell you haven't had a good breakfast in ages. One of the places you had had swords in the fridge. Also, you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. You're going where the river takes you, but things are different now. There's a great power within you that you are just now realizing. The power to shape the river, to use its waters to scour the lands you please. A power he doesn't even fully understand. You look down at your hands, sitting next to her. You start to remember the green room, the story you've fallen into. You tell her there's so much broken, and you have no idea how to fix it. You tell her you wish she was real, not just in your head. She'd know what to do. She tilts her head again, inquisitively. Am I, though? Just in your head, I mean. The story is only broken if you accept that it's broken. If you think the story as something given to you, but it's not. Puppet masters may try and tell you that the strings they are pulling are the only ones. As she says this, her head jerks back, oddly, but she continues whispering, calm as ever. Don't be afraid. Don't let anyone tell you that the story belongs to them. Not him, not anyone. You feel it too. It feels like threads tug at your body, at hers even more. Her limbs twitch and pull in gruesome pantomime as more and more strings loop around her and disappear skyward. They nearly surround her completely, but you are powerless to resist, paralyzed. It's for you. It's always been for you. Remember, friend, the only question. She only manages to spit out 4 more words as she is swallowed up and tangled in a spider webs of marionette strings, choked and broken. What will you do? The whole scene seems to melt away in searing green and you are falling, dancing beneath the skilled hands controlling you. He is here. He already was, or he was already. The ticking of 1,000 clocks, exactly in time, echoes around you. Did you miss me? I seem to be on your mind. I'm flattered. It's no wonder you're thinking about me just after meeting one of my greatest disappointments. You really do spend too much time around willful little girls. It may start to give you ideas. Ideas of choice, of challenge. You're relevant because those holding the strings decided you're relevant, an observer. The show must go on, but you don't make the mistake these little ingrates did. You can go on without you, or it can go on without you. The bits that really matter, at least. What's that? Am I doing this? I'm afraid not, darling. I don't even know what you're referring to. Tears stare at the edge of your mind again. You try to keep Boldier's words in your mind as the strings squeeze the breath out of you. What will you do? Another voice seems to answer from another place entirely, scratchy and loud. It says, "Fix this." You wake up. Stone cold, and a draft greets you. Charming. You blearily open your eyes, memories of the dream already fading to wisps in your mind. You're in a cluttered bedroom, the cluttered respite block that you're sure is Vriska's, based on the broken 8-balls scattered everywhere. You pick yourself up off the ground and try to think about how you got here. You passed out on the brigantine. She must have brought you home, but where is she? You turn around and see a window. You look outside and see a dramatic scene below. Vriska is mind-controlling the thralls. One she must have won off the Dreadclaw while you were out cold. They're marching one by one towards a massive web. Perched in the web is a giant spider, heaving, hulking, and hungry. Vriska's about to feed at the losers of this game, Caduceus. Okay, holy shit. Vriska's Luce is a giant spider monster that eats children. Oh, I should have saved before. Fuck, okay, that's fine. This explains so much. It also raises a significant number of questions that you're gonna think about while not watching these kids get eaten. You look for something to distract yourself with. You spot a black, raggedy book, much older than anything else in this room with Vriska's symbol on the cover. You reach for it and open it, flipping to a random page and seeing what looks like a journal scrawled in swoon, but not Vriska's handwriting from your character sheet. Looking inside the first page, you see the name Mindfang. You read and holy shit, you're very unsure this is appropriate for a young girl to be reading. You keep flipping through to different parts, and wow, this just keeps getting worse. Vriska named her character after this. You lose yourself in the hate reading of Mindfang's long stories about petty crime, dubious consents, and weirdly detailed descriptions of the outfits of a woman named Red Glare. Yeah, Archivist, it's kind of themed after Persona 5-ish. That was the vibe I was going for. You're surprised when Vriska walks up the stairs, hands in her pockets, looking at the ground. She doesn't even look at you before sitting down on the floor, cross-legged and staring 1,000 yards into the distance. She rocks back and forth, hands still in her pockets. You go to give her a reassuring pat on the back. As soon as you touch her metal shoulder, cold even through her shirt, she turns to you with a jumping glare and hisses like a cat before facing away again. You get the message. She takes the 8-ball out of her inventory again and then savagely, brutally beats it on the stone floor of her room until it's nothing but shards and a puddle. Then the two of you sit. She occasionally picks through the debris of the 8-ball and rocks, clenching and unclenching her fists, but as minutes pass, her breathing slows bit by bit. You don't say a word or bring up what happened. She's the one who talks first. Earlier you seemed, confused about why I care so much about playing a character. She thumps the dog-eared edge of a worn piece of paper in her sharp-clawed hand, staring at the wall. She's still got blood on her jacket, blood that almost makes you retch with the memory of spidery mandibles devouring her spoils. One glimpse of it makes you sick. What would dozens do? Hundreds. I mean, it seems obvious to me that the Marquise is the greatest and coolest character ever made, but I've seen her, but it's been so long, it's sort of like a part of me. Everybody's throwing shapes every day and acting like something's right. But most people are so boring. They don't dress up, they don't act, they're always so obsessed with being the exact kind of troll they were yesterday. Maybe you don't even have to be the same. Maybe you can go on message boards and try being someone new and find out you like it. Maybe it's nice to be called something your Lucis doesn't call you, and meet people who only ever knew you as the girl online, or on the other ship who is like a super badass and good at things. Come on, you can't tell me you never wanted to be someone else. You edge a bit closer to her during this rant and are looking at the sheet of paper in her hand. It's a spreadsheet-looking series of boxes she's filled with red ink. Name, Marquis Spinner at Mindfang. Class, Petticoat Seagrift. Gender, F. Levels, all of them. She's doodled all over the margins, art of her captaining ships and swinging swords and drinking out of goblets. Have you ever wanted to be someone else? The question makes you uncomfortable. Just pondering who you are now fills you with unease. Fucking playing a character scene, filling out a sheet like this for yourself seems impossible. A piece of paper representing all your physical and mental attributes. A blank canvas, the common outlines thereon defining the boundaries of every conceivable personality. You don't even know how you fill in the gender box. You've been busy making friends, okay? Suddenly she turns on you. There's a desperate, kind of crazy intensity in her good eye, like her gaze would burn you. You're going to punish you. Oh yeah, of course, everybody does. Do you think I like this? I used to have a partner. She didn't like it either, but she helped anyway. Like you, I guess, except she didn't puke when she saw blood. And also not like you at all. She made rules. She loves rules. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not, like, big on those. Gamblicant queens broke rules all the time, and that's just what you gotta do to survive. To make the voice stop haranguing me, and like, she heard her loses in her head too, but she didn't need anything from her. What's it even like? I've gotta be the best. I have to. I didn't get all the levels just to look at them on the sheet. You saw me out there. It's dangerous. You tried to kill me and left me alone. And then I got even, because that's what you do. That's what you have to do to backstabbers. But I still don't feel even. It doesn't bother her. Nobody cares. They just leave and move on, and I'm still stuck here on this stupid world. How are people mad at me for putting losers out of their fucking misery? This planet fucking sucks. Oh boy, that's a lot. You let her finish her tirade. She doesn't look straight at you for the whole thing. You gently ask about how her Moirail, who you did just befriend, would feel about her saying she's alone. You see a lot of thoughts flicker through her head, and a lot of expressions dance across her face. She settles onto a look like she's smelling something off. People always just want shit from other people. Sometimes you know somebody and you can't describe, like, what your whole deal is. You grow up with these ideas about what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to be. You get handed down these strict categories, tables in your player's handbook. And you read stories or journals or whatever that this is a mate spread, and you feel like this about them. And then you have a Moirail that meddles with you because you're too broken for her, and she just wants. Or you get told, oh, this is what a rival looks like. And then you look at your black date, and it's just an absolutely repulsive, slimy eel who always wants you to kiss him, and ew. Man, I could really upgrade in that department. But then there's someone that comes along, and none of that makes sense to you. You just like being with her. Or, it's not even like you just feel like shit makes more sense with her. I would say it's like you having this voice in your head. Who's she talking about with the black date? I don't remember Vriska being in Blackrock with anybody. But it's also been a hot minute since I've read her stuff. Was it Aridin? Was Vriska really Blackrock with Aridin? Wow, I do not remember shit. I would say it's like you have a voice in your head saying you're not good enough all the time, but she makes it quiet. But I actually do have a voice in my head saying I'm not good enough. Oh, I see. God, I'm not explaining this right. What I'm trying to say is, yeah, it's a doomsday device. Everyone leaves, nobody cares, and we're all waiting on a Callip to war, and look, I'm ready. I'm the best at war. It's just a big flarp. But I'd rather have a plan 8. You give Vriska a moment to breathe. You don't remember giving, or a plan B, not 8. Plan B. I was like thinking in my head, like, what was that? I don't think I read that right. Fucking plan B. You give Vriska a moment to breathe. You don't give her a reassuring touch on the back, remembering her jump and hiss when you tried that last. She looks like a feral cat, this girl. Tangled, greasy hair droops over her shoulders that are always hunched up, like something would come for her throat if she exposed it to anyone. You wonder if she ever let her shoulders down around that girl she was talking about, an ex perhaps? Of course she did. You wonder if she ever will again. You hear a psst in your ear and a squirrely little laugh, and suddenly you remember a green room and that you've had this thought before somehow. You ask her the question that's been consuming you, or more accurately not consuming you. Why were you left up here when everyone else got fed to the spider? She tenses in immediately when you ask this, and takes some time to clench her fists and then releases them. Some people are off limits. She has to eat, but she doesn't eat my friends when I bring her enough food. And you're counted as off limits? You're one of her friends? Oh my god, don't get a big head about it. I wouldn't let her eat Karkat either. And he's not like my my BFFC for life or anything. Plus, you helped me out. That's the pirate's code. Plus, fussy things would be mad. It must be hard separating trolls into two classes, friends and food like that. It must be hard and nobody understands. I mean, that's how it works here. Everybody's got to kick someone down, or someone to kick down. Except the Rustbloods. But them's the breaks. Somebody's gotta be on the bottom to keep the whole shebang afloat. Killing people lower down than you is what all the school feeds say you're supposed to do, to get ready for a life of space war against... Well, it mostly seems they just kill more lowbloods, that's all it ever is. My ancestor. She looks left and right as though she's going to be overheard, then leans in smirkingly. She sounds like she's letting in on a circuit, or a secret. My ancestor, Mindfang, she sailed around being the terror of the high seas for a while, but she fell in a group that was going to do something about all that. A bunch of weirdos led by a mutant who wanted a revolution. I've always wanted to be like her. I liked using her name more than my own for a while, dressing up like her, learning to sail, but I always ended up back here with a pile of corpses. That's having a lusus, right? Sometimes you don't get to do what you want to do. She talks to me, you know. It only stops when she's full. Always whispering in my head, saying I was fatter than her, saying I deserved all the things that happened to me. Even when I was bleeding out on this floor, you look at the cold, cluttered, uncomfortably drafty room. Whatever happened to her face and arm must have happened here. You see a broken figure silhouetted on the wall. You look back at Vriska and you know what she is. For all the bombast, insults, killing, you're looking at a survivor. You're looking at someone who Okay, PesterQuest. Okay. Alright. Well... Well... Hey, reader, we haven't met Tavros yet. I think we should meet Tavros before you make any judgment. You remember Dave's carefully crafted defense of a persona. You remember Rose eating oatmeal for dinner in a drafty, brutalist mansion. Jade in the shadow of a volcano raising herself. Your world can be as brutal as this one. Earth makes survivors too, and you have made a difference for them, one at a time. All of that nihilistic bullshit earlier feels like it was shouted at you by some meddling voice. Someone holding the strings. Fuck that. You're going to be a goddamn hero today. You're gonna make friends with this whole fucking planet if you have to, and you're going to make it better, or at least less of a complete dumpster. You tell Vriska you'll be right back and sprint down a spiral staircase. You keep running, pumping with beautiful legs straight out the door of Vriska's giant hive. You don't have a color inside the lines of someone else's story. This is your motherfucking narrative now. You take a leap and reach the cliff and barrel over, falling fast, wind whipping past your face. You tumble through the air towards a giant white spider, a leap not of faith, but of hope. You crash into the carapace of Vriska's terrible murder mom hard, cracking it with a piercing shriek. At the same time, you... zap! Hundreds of feet above at the mouth of a volcano on Jade's Island, and kick off the back of the spider, leaving the giant troll-gorged arachnid tumbling into the lava as you zap back to Alternia, back to Vriska's respite block. You appear behind her. She doesn't notice you. She's looking out her window, down at the empty web, with a shocked expression. Still looking out the window, her stunned silence turns, slowly into a grin that someone less generous than you would describe as shit-eating. Holy shit, Thembo Friendsled. You actually did something. Hell fucking yes! Let's go! Damn, I can't believe we fucking... we fucking Solvrist her Lucis. Fucking DVDC Solvrist her Lucis. Oh my god. Okay, we have one more route to go. Which is gonna take a fucking hot... Actually, I can do this. No, I want to load to here. Intervene. Holy shit, this was supposed to be a game. These innocent kids are getting fed to a fucking spider, and it's all because of your definitely essential contributions to Vriska's victory. This is so messed up. Games don't cause violence, you think, as you rush down the stairwell. They can't. Vriska's going to discredit an entire generation of gamers and add fuel to the fire of anti-gaming activism with this kind of behavior. Oh, and kill some kids. That's like a normal Alternian stakes, though. You've got to defend the integrity of Fortnite. That's so much more important, obviously. You rush out into the late-night air, too late to save a tranquilized, mind-controlled olive blood from being torn asunder. Vriska's Lucis holds the troll boy in her forelegs. Petaplaps tearing through clothing and chelicrae tearing into gray flesh, feeding a whining intestine into her mouth. You feel like you're going to yarts. What? You have no idea what you're doing, standing out here alone against a giant monster in this gaggle of mind-controlled thralls, but you gulp down some air and yell, "Stop!" Vriska turns at you. She doesn't look like she's doing a lot better, frankly. She's got a similarly sick expression on her face, but something in her eyes is dead, resigned. Her expression crumples into a scowl. What the fuck are you doing? She squints her one eye in pain like there's a voice screaming inside her head. I know, okay? I know. I'm dealing with it. She steps up towards you, and you see cerulean dice appear at one at a time in between your fingers. The dice are sparkling with cold blue flame. You suddenly feel as though you're going to have a very, very bad time. First of all, you fall asleep on me like a weenie, and I have to fight the last encounter all on my own. Then I carry you back to safety. Even though we just met, you owe me. Turn around and go back. Now. You look past her at the giant spider. The awful noise of squelching has stopped. 8 eyes are trained on you, blinking out of order. A splattered palette of multicolored blood is smeared all over her slathering mouth. There's 7 trolls still standing beside her, mindless, mouths lolling. Next. You don't turn around. You don't go back. You stand your ground, unarmed, unarmed and without a plan. Surely your new friend will see how wrong this is. Vriska looks hurt for a moment, betrayed, but the same glare settles back on her face. You think you're the big hero stopping this dangerous bitch, right? Happy as a Bilvav mollusk about your little protagonist moment. Bivalve? Oh, bivalve. I've never heard that word. Oh, I see. I guess there's 2 vowels. I see what you mean. You're being stupid. You don't understand what's happening here. What I have to do. You can't fix this. Nobody can. So now you're just another little weenie who thinks they're a hero and I'm a villain. So sure, I'll play ball. I'll be exactly what you want. She tosses the dice on the ground. Baroness of Restraint. A dice glows with blue flame as they tumble to a stop. An ethereal whip materializes and snaps around your ankle, and you are dragged dizzyingly fast towards the spider's web. A friction of your ass on the rocky cliff face tears the butt off your flarp costume, exposing your delicate cheeks to chafing, your greatest asset. But things are far worse than that as you are flung directly into the clutches of the horrific arachnid. The fangs of Vriska's Lucis pierce your skin and pump you full of numbing venom that causes everything to fade to black and static numbness, which is good, because she's beginning to eat you alive. It's also good because you can't see or hear a little girl stifle a sniffle, holding herself with crossed arms, one mechanical and rocking back and forth, watching another friend consumed by this chaos that never leaves her. Great work, hero. You got forward. Aww. Damn, Vriska got one hell of a fucking route. That was really cool. We hit all 3 endings, I'm pretty positive. Equius time! I would say my least favorite troll, but Aridin exists. I think Equius I just feel kind of like neutral bad about, or like a neutral dislike. But Aridin I actively hate, so. And also, Aridin has never gotten good content in an undafic. And Equius, like, I enjoy Equius in YWDMP, but also, in like MC Escher as well. Mostly YWDMP. I really like Equius in YWDMP. It's a clear, cool night, and you're wandering around trying to decide whose hide you should crash at before the sun comes up. It's nice. But then it's like you have Aridin. Aridin in DBDC sucked. Aridin in Alternate Universe sucks. And He isn't a huge character in MC Escher, and I don't think he's in YWMP at all. Aridin, yeah, remember, Aridin was the one that got Solix kidnapped. He sold out because he was, like, jealous of the shit that Fefri pulled. Right? I mean, Aridin died right after that, so he kinda got what he deserved, but he was the person that sold out, the location of everybody to that other, the other heiress, and then it got them all killed. But Aridin in Alternate Universe, fuck, he sucked. I wanna beat the shit out of him. Now, he's kind of it's due to his uprising, his circumstances. His maker was shitty, but, yeah. Yeah, hate Aridin. Anyways, we're not at Aridin yet, so I don't get to complain yet. It's a clear, cold night, and you're wandering about trying to decide whose hive you should crash at before the sun comes up. It's nice, having so many options for a place to stay. You've cultivated a decent community for yourself, and there's an ember of pride in your belly about it. Maybe I should get around to reading Homestuck. I'm just chilling out here with a little clue of how Homestuck works. I mean, I would recommend it. I recommend reading Homestuck purely for some of the fandom content, but Homestuck itself is, like, you'll either really like it or you'll really hate it, and usually if you really like it, it's like, you will be both extremes simultaneously, right? As a Homestuck enjoyer, Homestuck itself is hard to recommend to people because it is a lot and has a lot of issues. It's also very good, but it has a lot of issues. But I'm glad I read it purely because I got to read all the fanfiction that I did, and the fanfiction is what I'm really fixated on. Like Ghost Rider, my WP are kind of making fancy around me, but I don't know what could ever make me not dislike Aridin. Yeah, I'm with you. Crow Strider was really good at making me like almost everybody. I mean, hell, even Aerosol Sprite was awesome. I loved Aerosol Sprite in Crow Strider. Crow Strider, I really enjoyed Crow Strider. I saw somebody with like an opinion that was like, Crow Strider sucks because everybody's just happy by the end and there's no conflict. And it's like, sure, if you really, but it's like, it's a fix-it fic. That's the whole point. And hey, maybe sometimes I just want everything to go well and for all the characters to get all the the resolution that they needed, and for everybody to be happy in the end, and literally for everybody to survive. I'm allowed? Can I have that, please? Right? And Crow Strider literally does exactly that. Like, literally everybody. I don't think that anybody is like, there's like one character that's like permanently dead, right? By the end of Crow Strider, and it's like a minor character. But in Crow Strider, literally everybody survives. Everybody fucking god tiers. All the sprites get like their bodies. Like everybody's fucking awesome and great. And you know what? They're allowed to be. They're allowed to be. Like, let me be happy. Where do you read Homestuck on? You go, if you look up the unofficial Homestuck collection, that's where you want to download that, and that's how you want to read Homestuck, because the official site is kind of dog shit. So just go on Google, look up the unofficial Homestuck collection, and you'll find it. So I will say, I mean, I enjoyed the early acts, but the part where everybody says, like, this is Homestuck doesn't really start until, like, Act 4-ish. That's what... Act 4, Act 5-ish. But, like, I still enjoy the early acts, and most people do. But it's not until you start getting, you know, into roughly, like, page... When's S Descend? Is S Descend in 2000s? What page is S Descend? S Descend was like when I was like fully like 100% invested by the time I got to the S Descend Flash. I think that's like somewhere in either the 1000s or 2000s. That's like is that end of Act 3 or end of Act 4? I don't remember. But yeah. So, but you gotta get through a decent chunk at the beginning of where it's kind of maybe boring. I still enjoyed it a lot, but it's wacky and kind of nonsensical, and then it really starts kicking into plot stuff later. Anyways, PesterQuest. Still, you find yourself feeling a little aimless. The last couple friends you made were pretty intense. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but you're vibing at a chiller frequency now. There's still a while until it gets dangerous. Until it gets dangerously lights out, dangerously light out, so you sort of pop around and see what feels right. It's kind of fun to test out the boundaries of your powers. You've used it to find friends, but you're really not sure how far it goes. You think tree, and you don't know how far your magic brain decided which to choose one. But fuck if you aren't sitting on top of an extremely high branch a second later. You try again with whatever concept comes to mind. You try it out again with whatever, garden, cave, mall, and it all works. You don't remember ever having been to any of those specific places, but you feel a strange prickly affinity for each of them as your feet touch the ground. Those are all pretty generic location nouns, though. You wonder if it works for things that are more abstract. Quickly, you think, before you can talk yourself out of it, out of the naivety of it, you think home. It takes you a minute to open your eyes, even after you feel your guts all back in the right place. Because what if you wake up in a room that feels like yours, or worse, and an infinitely more likely, what if you don't? You breathe in deep and immediately cough wretchedly. You open your watery eyes, clinging to the hope that maybe you come from a land of dusty comforts, where you'll always breathe in layers of dust and it's fine. It's not fine. You've landed inside one of the spindliest, most precarious hunks of metal that has ever been bolted onto the side of a cliff. It looks like some ancient outpost, not homey at all. Of course, that wouldn't work. It was stupid to try. Defeat is bitter in your mouth. There's a twisty part of you that wants to curl up on a particular piece of floor and take a nap. You can't work out how much of that urge is just you wanting to give in. So just in case you don't surrender to it. Maybe you'll come back another time and sift through all the shit on the shelves, but for now, you're not sure how structurally sound this thing is, and you can't take any more disappointment. So you try once more to pop up somewhere you haven't been before. What was that one guy's name that Gamzee mentioned? Oh yeah, Equius. Maybe he's chill. You think his name and zap away, imagining yourself leaving an edgy, despondent swirl of dust in your wake. Oh, hi, buddy. Your magical zap calibration maybe isn't as off as you thought, because you pop in on Equius as close as possible to get on the dude without landing directly on top of him. The astonishing unchillness of the situation is eminently apparent. He's mid-jump, mid-yell, mid-sweat, and mid-swing of an outlandishly beefy arm down towards you. You freeze frame like an anime protagonist analyzing their choices mid-battle. In your drawn-out split-second of observational window, you realize he's not aiming at you, but in the direction of whatever noisy, whirring thing you happen to plop down on in front of, fuck. As soon as he sees you, his eyebrows shoot up above his busted-ass sunglasses and strangles itself into panic. His arms shudder as though he's trying and failing to alter its glorious faceward trajectory. Yeah, I really like his sprites. His sprites are really nice. I like the little, I don't know if it's blush, but like the little blue hint of shading underneath the eyes. It's very cute. You really do not want to get your face zapped off your head, so you scream and just zag outside the high-arched door on the far end of the room. You hear a deep, meaty thunk, followed by a groan and then a sharp metallic crunch. The roaring stops. Oh my god, is he dead? Is the other thing dead? Should you go check on him? You skitter away from the door and then go back to it, unsure what to do. Was that? No, it can't have been. Hello. Show yourself this instant. Ah, fuck, he does not sound happy. His words are a little garbled too, like some teeth just got knocked out by whoever's ass he was just kicking. You weigh your options. Be brave. Oh no, oh man. The Gamzee seal of approval is maybe not the most credible, but this guy might be an okay dude, and it would definitely be your fault if he was hurt in there. You should at least check on him, explain or something. You can zap away if it comes down to it. You do the polite thing this time and knock. He opens the door fast, like he was just on the other side of it. You both jump. He collects himself and glares at you, arms crossed against a heaving chest. Rivulets of blood and sweat run together in a pool in a divot above his weird alien clavicle, and a low menacing sound rumbles through him. You can feel it in your teeth. Holy shit, he's terrifying. Explain yourself immediately. You might you think he might shit your pants on the spot, but he gives you a quick up and down and rearranges his expression into a sort of forced smile. Oh, you can't see the fullness of his expression behind the thing. It doesn't really feel any more charm or welcoming with what the blood dripping down his chin, but the fact he's trying is maybe a good sign. You hold in your fear shit just in case. Or perhaps come in and take a seat. He steps aside to beckon you through the door and then sort of freezes. Unless you should be the one instructing me, in which case it would behoove you to make that promptly apparent. I cannot work out how exactly to address you when you don't wear a caste symbol and you look like that, which I am either very sorry for or quite cross about, depending on where the truth lies. Either way, I'm beginning to perspire about it. So, out with it right now. Man, he is really struggling. The anger you felt radiating off of him is still there, but that doesn't seem to be all of what's driving him. It's like there are two competing forces inside him, one that wants to yell at you and one that wants to get yelled at by you. You might conceptualize these forces as fierce animals, wearing in glorious unwavering balance. Horses, perhaps. Anyways, you'll workshop that metaphor later. You tell him you know you look weird, but you promise you're cool. You know a friend of his. At the mention of Gamzee, the corner of his lips curls into something complicated, so you change course real fast, just in case. And Karkat, does he know Karkat? What a guy. He eyes you warily. Or, you think he probably does. With his eyes behind his shades, you can't be sure. But he's being very still. Sweat and blood are still just fucking running down his face, and he's not even acknowledging it. You laugh nervously. You both continue to stand there, waiting for the other to make a move. It would be super helpful if someone was assertive around here. Luckily, some kind of cow centaur man, his Lucis you assume, breaks the awkward doorway stalemate by silently trotting up and handing Equius a desperately needed towel. He then offers you some frosty glasses of milk. Something deep inside you feels a swell of warm recognition for the ritualistic moment of a friend's parent bringing you snacks. So, you down that thick shit in one go. The Lucis's mustache flutters in appreciation, and after a nod between him and Equius, he leaves as silent as he came. I see you're an aficionado of the sweetest of nectars. This speaks to the likelihood of your nobility, which is reassuring. I may be able to overlook the circumstances of our meeting then, if you can provide strong evidence, of course. Tell me, are you also a hoofbeast art enthusiast? He beckons you inside the room, and as you follow, you tell him you're not really sure what that means, but probably you're a fan of a lot of... Oh. Haha. Okay, so that's what that means. So that's what that means. Cool. Yeah, whatever. You feel like you learned once that anything can be art if it feels right, so art can definitely be a well-muscled horseman on the walls of this here living space. What is this one? What is the... this one's furry. I can't tell. But this is just a horse's ass, kind of drawn kind of lewdly. Equius, explain yourself? Equius rumbles in agreement and gestures toward a chair. It's one of those cool red and black gamer themed chairs with embedded speakers. There's a lot of that kind of decorating motif in here, which is a little odd with the high ceilings and engraved doorways, and general blue blood old money architecture. Oh yeah, haha, there are broken bows and robot parts all over the goddamn place. Not in neat little stacks or connected to other robot parts to create a whole robot, just an absolute wasteland of obliterated robo-corpses, like they all were torn limb from limb and then just scooted off toward the wall. A fair few of them are splattered in blood too. Dried, it almost looks black, but the fresh stuff on the fists of one in pieces at your feet is bright indigo. On one hand, it is absolutely a relief to see that it's all metal and not flesh body parts scattered all over the floor, but it's still, not fucked up looking. Your smile probably has too many teeth in it to seem normal, but Equius returns it in kind and leans what he probably thinks is casually against the edge of his desk. It creaks under his weight. Jesus, he could just end you in half a second, couldn't he? You claim we have mutual acquaintances, so demonstrate it. He nods towards the screen of his desktop where he has his Trollian open. Oh, fuck. Okay, you guess you can just click on someone and ask them to prove it? He seems to know both Karkat and Gamzee, and between the two, you know who's most likely to be online and ready to pester and be pestered at all times. So you click his screen name and start typing. Hey Karkat, I hope you're having a good day. I just have a quick favor to ask you. Wait, what? Oh, also I miss you. What the fuck? What happened to you? Where's your horrifying quirk? How am I supposed to saddle up for some truly nauseating conversation if I don't have a not veiled, at all bulge reference greeting me at the beginning of every one of your excruciating messages? Are you sick? Like, in a new way? Oh, right, Jesus, you're logged in as Equius. Your fool ass just started typing like you had your own account for some reason. You blame it on the nerves and get to clarifying. Oh, haha, sorry, this is your new friend. After I dropped you off yesterday, I wandered around for a while and I'm hanging out with Equius. I'm using his computer. Oh, my pusher almost fucking gave up on the spot. I don't think he trusts me. Can you vouch for me? Hold on, let me just bask in the concept of you two hanging out. This is a mental masterpiece. A tableau of awkward fucking splendor. I legitimately do not even know what sort of short-circuiting must be happening in his brain to try and make sense of you. Please don't tell me a single fucking thing about it later. Okay, woo, I'm done. Is he watching? Equius leans over your shoulder and tucks his hair behind his ears so it doesn't get in the way of his typing. It's a bow and arrow. Any resemblance otherwise is only a pleasant coincidence. And yes, I am watching. Okay, whatever. Listen up, you milk-log chum squelcher. This little guy right here, the one you're probably dripping in sweat all over, that's one of the realest friends you will ever hope to make. Sure, they'll send you life careening horrendously off course, but it will absolutely be worth it for the level of dedication they bring to the table. Don't even bother with the blood color horse shit with this one, since they're the only one of their species. Just roll with it for once in your wretched life. Don't fuck this one up, Zahak. They're an abomination, and they wouldn't know what a boundary was if it took residence up in their grease chute. But you two have those things in common, so in this case, it's a good thing. Equius inhales sharply, and you wonder what Karkat meant by that. About Equius, you mean. Sure, you're an inexplicable being, neither Earthling nor Alternian, but with weird itchy memories about having lived on both planets. But he doesn't seem out of the normal range of fucked up, considering troll standards. In fact, how about this? That is sufficient. Goodbye. He minimizes the window and steps back, somehow sweatier than he was before. He taps a towel gingerly to his forehead. So, we have been properly introduced. Okay then, you definitely thought he was going to be more thorough than that. He does seem a little shaken up, so maybe you should just be thankful the conversation got cut short before he could really dig too deep into your lore and get judgmental about it. I do not know the standard method of communication with your species. You will take the lead here, and it will surely become clear how I should proceed. Yes, that sounds extremely feasible. You will now begin the friendship process. I command it. Oh sure, you got this. How exactly do you got this? So we're both freaks, huh? Show off your cool powers. Let's show off cool powers. Great, you can do that. Making friendship happen is like one skill you actually have. From what you recall, you have a 100% success rate at it too, so this budding rapport is safe in your hands. Excellent. Whew. You really weren't sure he'd be down for this. It really seemed like he might be coming to kill you when you heard him stomping toward the door earlier. Kill you? I would never... He cuts himself off, as though he didn't intend to admit he didn't have it in him to murder you, and clears his throat. At first I thought you might be Arthur, my Lucis. It's ridiculous looking back, though you do share a sort of globular-pated resemblance. How did you come to entangle yourself in my brawl only to immediately escape? Are you abnormally fast? I admit that particular method of being strong had not occurred to me, but I am intrigued. I, too, like to test the limits of physical capability. Oh no, you can just zap places. It's kind of a strength, maybe, if you wanted to find a superpower that way. You show off a bit, since you know Equius likes demonstrations. You tell him about how all you have to do is think of a place or a person you want to visit, and then pop. You bop to the top of a pile of robot parts, then back in front of him on the floor. It's like that, except anywhere. I see. That is exceptional. He sort of just starts quaking gently where he stands. He rubs the back of his neck with a towel, but he's not really even sweating any more than he had been already. It's just as though, in his excitement, he forgot to sweat, and just dabbed by force of habit? Is that a thing? Or are you even noticing this shit? Is it possible to bring a pillion rider along? What, like zap a buddy with you? In answer, you extend an elbow for him to grab. His whole body is vibrating by this point. He reaches his hand out, but stops just before he touches you, like you might shock him. It's okay, it won't hurt, you say. His fingers twitch, just above your elbow, and his mouth purses in distrust. You're not sure exactly what he's worried about, since you're extremely undangerous, but you let him have a moment to work through whatever he's nervous about. He takes a steadying breath. Oh, he's like a little blush. Steadying breath, it's a little unsettling to see his face relax, even briefly, into soft, calm lines. Flipped palm up, his hand slowly cradles your forearm from below. He nods, a sharp, determined movement, and starts telling you what to do again. You will take me with you. Her name is Nepeta. Do you require any other information, or will that be sufficient? That ought to do it. You haven't heard of her, you think, but you feel an immediate surge of excitement about this little jaunt. It's probably most just the feeling of friendship thirst talking, but you can't help but feel like this is a connection that is supposed to be made, like it's something that matters. You zap away. A pleasant little cosmic slip and slide feeling when the zap is jolted, like you got yanked off the ride with a fishhook in your guts. You land back exactly where you started. That did not work. Did you mislead me? No, this should work. You're not even high this time. As impressive as the strength of your power is, perhaps you need to apply more attention to the more intricate details involved. She is an olive blood, very short, and shamefully unkempt. This information will help. You hope so. He is starting to look pretty tense, even with the fond lilt in his voice as he talks about his messy friend. You give it another whirl, and then you feel it. That same weighty glare on the back of your neck telling you that you don't belong. Fuck, you got zap blocked again. You will try again. Each word is ground out one at a time between his clenched teeth. Blood trickles through the cracks in his bite and out the corner of his lip. You really don't like this, or you really don't think this is going to work, but Equius looks like he's seconds away from losing his shit reluctantly, so you comply. Quit fucking trying to skip ahead, it's not going to work. As you hurtle through space-time towards Equius' floor, you start to wonder if this is just going to be what happens now when you try and make friends. You accept this truth into your heart as your face accepts the impending wood planks. Equius lands on his feet a little ways from you, his hand balled into a fist, bellowing with impotent rage. He's not even saying words, just unleashing an agonized guttural wail. He punches an already dead robot torso leaning against a bookshelf. In punctuation, he kicks its decapitated head, which explodes in a shower of bolts and sparks. As the dust clears, you see him dutifully wiping himself down with a towel, breathing hard. He seems to have worked his anger out, because he walks with purposeful grace, as though he's learned it in coalition, and sits next to where you're still sort of laying on the floor. You're both silent for a beat. Equius tugs a lock of his hair, anxiously wrapping it around his finger. His hand falls into his lap. I apologize for that display. The disappointment emotion is not my favorite. I feel better now, however. My Moirail lives very far away, so our paths have never been able to cross. Well, let me take some water. Oh. Whatever force is blocking us seems to wield significant narrative power, so I will respect its whims as above mine in status, for now. You know what happens. You're no stranger to the ups and downs of friendship. The trick is to know when to try and keep up and when to fall back, no matter how futile it feels or how alone you are. Your morale is impressive considering your circumstances. That's probably mostly a compliment. You're not really sure. Your circumstances definitely feel like they could be worse. You're very sure of yourself. How do you manage this when you are the only one of your kind, without a society to tell you how to act or feel? How do you know if you are living in the correct way? How do you know where you belong, or if you belong? Fucking ouch! The desire to belong is a yawning wound in your guts, one that never seems to heal. You try not to let this rip too many stitches out of it. You never feel totally secure, you say. There's always fear, always doubt, always pain. But you find people in unlikely places, make community when and where you can. Shit, you have belongings at, like 8 people's houses by now? It's not the same as having your own spot, but it's definitely something. You started off on the defensive, but you realize it's true. So really, you figure, you're still defining yourself by your relationships to other people, but that can come from a good place, and not just a twisted and forced one. You get wanting to know you're doing something right, unlocking your own mentally devised set of achievements for that sweet dopamine rush, but leaning on a fucked up social system for direction and validation doesn't really help him, and it definitely isn't helping many others. You don't need that to figure yourself out. His brows furrow and you can hear a couple of the 4,672 rigid barriers in his brain creaking open. It's not just other people you think. You find strength, strength, is that right? In your own self, too. You've met a lot of people and learned a lot of ways to be, but you're still working on what that means for you. No, it is not right, but I appreciate the attempt. This type of understanding does not come easy to me, but I believe I am following. In my case, I have striven to locate and retool the edges of my own ability. Physical prowess is relatively typical indigo trait, but I am abnormally strong. I have worked to hone it in an attempt to make sense of myself and why I am like this, reining in an aberrant trait and defining myself by it. He gestures to the god-awful robot mask, then flexes his hands. The blood has coagulated since the two of you started talking. He stares at it. This way of thinking may not always be a good thing, however. Certain habits are difficult to break. Though there are loopholes in every rule, I often lose track of which regulations I actually enjoy following and which I just do not know how to disregard. At least with this hobby, all of the stakes are under my control, with no chance of others getting hurt. Unless they haphazardly zap in between your fights looking for friendship, that is. His smile is as broken and rigid as it was the first time, but it feels different, backed by the rough warmth of his laugh. Aww! Okay, equius is growing on me. Yes, do not do that again. Next time you will zap to the front door and Arthur will let you in. Next time, you think, and you smile back. Aww! Let's see how poorly this can go now. Oh boy. Chicken out. I'm pretty sure we just leave. You don't know, equius looks super strong and even more pissed. You really, really do not want to be the next in line to get disemboweled. If friendship with this guy really meant to be, maybe you can reconnect with Gamzee as an intermediary. That sounds like a normal and cool time. Panic grips you as his heavy footsteps approach the door. Forgetting you have a super useful zap power specifically for use in time-sensitive panic situations, you turn and run. You glance over your shoulder as you go and collide spectacularly with the brick wall. Looking up from the brightly polished floor where you lay, inexplicably doused in milk and broken glass, you realize it wasn't a wall you hit. It's a glistening, part pseudo-humanoid, part horse, cow, beast, person? Another godforsaken Lucis, maybe? You really aren't sure, but the fact that his top half looks more dapper. Wait. But the fact that his top half looks kind of like a more dapper you fills you with the most cursed mixture of fear and curiosity you felt this far. He doesn't seem to be bothered by you at all, only anxiously trying to get by you. You try and stand up, but you slip on the milk and eat shit just as equius bursts through the door. They both tower over where you lay, flopping ineffectively in a burgeoning puddle of froth. God, is everyone in this house just made of muscle? You've had enough of this regular strength escape attempt shit. Bruised, humiliated, and covered in dairy, you zap on out of there. Oh, oh, poor guy. Poor little guy. Oh no. Me, for real. Okay, be brave, and then... So we're both freaks, huh? You decide to just go for it. Sometimes leaping into what could potentially be a super sensitive topic for someone ends up just being the key ingredient in a friendship pie. You can see how it is. Equius crying, thankful you are here to talk about whatever this unspeakable commonality you share is. You wiping his tears with his already pretty soaked towel. You shake yourself out of this daydream and drop this sweet loaded question in his lap. Holy shit, you can't wait till this works out. We're gonna get punched in the face. Excuse you? Speak for yourself. My standing is unblemished. Karkat is only comparing us in that way to further the ruse that he is removed from that particular category. It is a delicate social dance. Oh, okay, you're not really sure Karkat sees it that way, but hey, whatever works for them. Anyway, you know he was just yelling a lot about something that's not a big deal, as is his manner of showing affection, but you just thought he meant, like, the horn thing. The horn thing? Oh shit, you're sorry. You don't know what things are and aren't callable around here, you know? It's almost like it's all entirely arbitrary and at the whims of whoever's in charge or something. You like the look personally, but you haven't made friends with someone with a broken one before, so you're not really sure how common it is. It is relatively uncommon. They are exceptionally sturdy, so it takes something very strong to break them. He looks like he might not be able, or be about He looks like he might be able to tell you the story, but somehow you keep not learning the lesson where you should just chill and experience something instead of leap to try to figure out it before it happens. So fueled by enthusiasm for your newest spur-of-moment decision, you stop listening to his lecture on troll biology and focus instead on zapping to the moment before his horn broke. Troll biology is probably super interesting anyway, so you'll come back right after it and be able to contribute more to the conversation. You pop into familiar nothingness, but instead of appearing at a point in Equius' past, you feel yourself split. It's like looking at a magic eye puzzle, but with your whole body. You try to concentrate, to align the segments into a whole, but it's too late. You think for a second it might be a cool new power, but it just doesn't feel that different from before. Only just triple. It's like there's a narrative precedent for this moment existing in more than one plane of truth. Unable to do anything else but sit there in space contemplating this paradox, you watch. He looks a little younger, but not much. He's beating the shit out of a robot, but it's not the same as it was when you saw it before, however briefly. Then his movement had been smooth, even in their rage, like he wasn't afraid until you showed up. Here, in this half-present space, his moves are erratic. He swings wildly, unthinkingly, like there is nothing left inside him but one last flicker of fury. His teeth are gritted against tears, and he looks so tired. You want to pull him back to make him rest. You see him reach the same conclusion, but not at all how you meant it. He just stops. The robot does not. You feel him close his eyes. At the same moment, you see another snapshot of time, much further back. Is this little grub Equius? There's a little grub wobbling its way up a stalagmite in a cave. It's definitely a precarious place, but still somehow feels safe to you for some reason. Safe, but also, like, super violent. Who knows, there's a lot going on right now. He crawls to the top and roars a baby-clicking roar. Eyeing a taller cave precipice, you see this little behind wiggle as he moves to jump. Over top that, there's another Equius, looking about the same as he does now, just plus one horn, out on a stroll in the moonlight. This one is about to cross the street when a majestic herd of hoofbeasts crests a faraway hill. He stops, transfixed, as the animals gallop across the plain. He does not hear the approaching scuttle buggy. You watch all of this from your floating void standpoint, unable to stop it. The arcs of their fallen align in cosmic synchrony, hair fanned out like a banner of feet. The echo of the crack of the horn makes, as they shatter, reverberates in your teeth. You yell as all three Equiuses hit their respective grounds. You can't help it. You've started to care about this guy a little bit. As the sound leaves you, all three of them turn their injured heads to look at you in unison, and you freeze. Shit, that's probably not supposed to happen, right? You were just watching, not changing anything. You barely know what you're doing, though, so you can never be sure. You zap immediately back to the present, winded and dizzy. You feel deeply, suddenly corporeal, like you do when you step off a boat onto the shore, but with each atom of your body separately and all at once. Equius is standing exactly where he was when you left, totally unchanged, still yammering about anatomy. Woo, good to know nothing got fucked up in the future after you. Wait, you were there. He pauses, shaking his head to clear it as his memory realigns. I don't know how I didn't remember you. I accepted your offer of friendship, and you repay me with this tomfoolery. You knew how it happened all this time, and yet you played ignorant, jockeying for a position as someone in my trust only to play me for a fool. No, see, you didn't before. It wasn't until after you went back this time that this became the way things went, see? The way time travel works is, do not explain time travel to me. What do you take me for? You're still reeling a bit from seeing him so vulnerable, by varying definitions of vulnerable, you guess, but still. You know you got this information from an unfair source. Now that you have it, you don't feel right by just leaving. There's more to Equius than you'd originally thought, but you can feel the chance to learn more about him slipping away. I do not know what it is you want from me, but you will not receive it. Whatever connection you feel to him in this moment, he clearly does not return it. And shit. He's starting to get pissed. Sweat begins to beat at his temple. Your brain scrambling to grasp a hold of any thought that isn't your abject friendship failure latches onto the realization that, sweat and all, his hair still somehow looks really good. Would now be a good time to ask him about what products I don't think this alliance is going to work. He will leave. I must get back to my business. Your heart sinks as he turns his back to you, presses a button to the back of a robot's neck, and rolls his shoulders. Goodbye. Aww. Womp womp. Well, that was fun. Okay, that was 3 routes. And I'm tired. And my voice is starting to get tired. And we're about to hit 2 hours. And that's usually about for as long as I go. So next time we will do Terezi, Tavros, and Aradia, which I think will be some fun ones. And then maybe the next time we'll do all the trolls, and then we'll do one final stream where we hit all the alpha kids. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, because I know from what I recall, Dirk's route is fucking long. So we might have to do a couple. We'll see. I know that I haven't been consistent every time I say, oh, I'll stream tomorrow night or whatever. I just stream whenever the fuck I feel like it. So just keep an eye out. I post on Twitter and on Tumblr when I go live, and then obviously you can get, if you're following me here, you can follow and get noticed when I go live. So yeah, Dirks is hella long. Yeah, that's what I assumed. I assume it's kind of like the what do you call it? The fucking conclusion, like everything. So if we do it in 3s, we do Terezi, Tavros, Aradia, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and then just 1, 2. We could do that. We could just keep doing 3s, and then we'll just do Roxy and Dirk, just those 2 at the end, because Dirk will probably cover about an additional. I think that'll work. So we'll just do it in 3s. So next time we'll do Terezi, Tavros, and Aradia, whenever that is. So yeah, but thank you guys all for joining me tonight. And yeah, we will continue this whenever I feel like it next. Maybe tomorrow night, maybe the next few nights, whatever. Yeah. So have a lovely night. Thank you guys all for joining me on the stream, and bye-bye. Bye.